Hello, this is Antoine with another episode of Out and Up. We encourage young athletes to achieve their very best outside of the game. And like every show, we're blessed to have another awesome guest, and y'all know how I do. I'm gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself.
Oh, what's good, y'all? My name is Justin Pruitt. I'm a sophomore at Fayetteville State University. I go there also on my own business. I'm the CEO of the Juice Products. I'm the president of Roots Mentoring, and I'm a team leader at Tulsa Initiative. So I have a pretty big journey, and I'm just following my purpose. My passion was football, but now my purpose is, what I'm doing now. So it's me.
That's awesome, Justin. Thank you for joining us. You ready to get into the questions?
Sorry. Yeah.
Man, so when I met this young gentleman, I just thought the story was so awesome because on Out and Up, our goal is to encourage young athletes, even if they play, at the ultimate level, to really focus in on growing their life as an individual outside of the game. And so when I heard this young gentleman's story and the decisions he had made at a young age, because he knew it, he touched on it real quick just then what his passions was. I think I felt like he was the ultimate example, that our young people need of just really being able to lock in on where your heart is at. And so we're going to get into the story on this episode, but we're going to start from the beginning and we're going to touch first on his connection to sports. So, Justin, first, before we get into sports, where you originally from, born and raised?
So I was born in Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio. I was born there. I moved around, so I moved to Phoenix, Arizona, and then I moved to Colorado. So I've been here in Colorado for some time, but my dad, he was a Marine, so kind of moved around a little bit and everything. So that's how I got here. Yeah.
All right, cool. So you were playing sports, and so we're going to touch on your life in sports. What was some sports you played during your youth, and when did you get started in sports?
I've been playing basketball probably since I was like 6. I hooped my whole life. Really, I hooped. I didn't get into football until I was really in like seriously into like high school. I played some flag football when I was younger and some tackle football like growing up. But I never like took it as seriously as I did hooping. Um, but really, that transitioned into me making that transition from basketball to football was just like I lost that passion in basketball because I've been playing it so long. And then my sophomore year, I picked up football and then ended up getting opportunities within that. But that's kind of how my journey went through hooping first and then to football.
Okay, all right. So even as you went on into playing football, did you still have an urge to play basketball every now and then?
Uh, uh, a little bit, but not much. Because like I said, I hooped so much growing up, and like I got all the experiences I wanted out of it. Like I got to a point where I didn't really want to play. In college, I was like football was my new passion. So I ended up taking that passion further hand. But every once in a while, like since I've been here in Colorado, I went and like hooped at the gym and everything with my brothers. So every once in a while, I will.
Right. Do you still have it a little bit?
Oh, always. I don't lose it. I don't lose it. I still got that handle. Yeah.
So I will ask for both sports, like through middle school. And you said, when did you actually kind of transition and stop playing basketball?
My sophomore year. My sophomore
Okay.
year.
Okay. So through middle school and even on into high school, like what were some of your highlights between basketball and football? What were some high moments that you will always hold on to?
I say you said just from high school.
I mean, you can touch on middle school. I don't know, with between the two sports, did you play
Okay.
some travel, some Pop Warner or AAU?
Yeah. So I played a lot of AAU basketball. So I played for a team called Pluto Prospects. They nice. They on the Nike EYBL right now in Colorado Springs. So
Okay.
I played them through probably I think it was like seventh grade, probably to seventh grade to freshman year. I played with them, and that was like an amazing experience. And then I played with Colorado Future. It was a team in Colorado Springs I played with when I like first got here. That was the first team I played for, and one of my boys, which was a big inspiration, he's actually going to the league right now, Trenton Flowers. I grew
Okay.
up. He got signed to LA Clippers a little bit ago. Um,
Cool.
so he's doing his thing. He's young, so he's great. And then my other boy, I grew up playing with, he had passed away, but that was like my best friend. We were growing up, so like that's a big memory that sticks to me because a lot of what I do is because of what I had at that point and because of him and all of us to just keep going and being an inspiration for each other.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So as you get into high school, you say sophomore year is when you start transitioning. When it came to football, at what point did you kind of recognize, or I would even say maybe even before high school, when did you start developing that desire to play football at the high or at a higher level beyond high school?
I'd say, I never really had the thought to even want to play at a higher level until like really because my sophomore year, I was just getting into football. I didn't even know how to play receiver much. I had to train. Like I made a crazy transition from my sophomore to junior year. During that COVID time, I was grinding like every single day because I didn't really know how to run routes. I didn't really know how to do anything as a DB. So that transition to football and like into college and knowing that um, I didn't really even know. I didn't know until like my senior year until I started getting offers. I started getting offers and like, I believed in myself and I knew that I would, but like at the same time, it was so new to me.
Okay, all right. So as you get to your senior year, where were some places that you started getting offers from?
So my first visit was from BYU. So I went on a visit to Brigham Young University. I got offered from CSUP. I got offered from New Mexico, one of New Mexico schools. Um, I got I got to look at all of them, but I got like around 10 different offers, 10, 11 different offers from different schools. Um, but it was great. And I was so surprised because I was like, I made that transition from basketball. I'm thinking my whole life I'm gonna go hoop in college, but ended up going for football. So yeah, it was a great experience.
Awesome. So you end up choosing, you have it written across your chest, you end up choosing to be a Bronco. How did that decision come about?
So some people may know Coach Fagans, but Coach Fagans, he was a coach at Colorado State University of Pueblo, and he had offered me there as a receiver and a DB. And he ended up getting an opportunity to go to Fayetteville State. So he ended up leaving that school, going to Fayetteville State, and he offered me over there. All the schools I got offered to were all near Colorado, New Mexico. I had some in Utah, but mainly like in that large area, you know. And that was the only offer I had down south. And I was like, I would love to go out there. Looked like a great school, but I was getting ready to go to Tennessee State University. I actually
Okay.
had to go, and I had a closer connection to Coach Fagans already, so I was like, I might as well go there. I ended up going there, and it was the best decision I could have made.
Wow. So what was some things that, in making that decision with them, what were some things outside of the connection with the coach? What were some things that you saw even with whether it was the campus or the school itself that drew you in?
I say the biggest thing that drew me in for my position too um, was definitely seeing Joshua Williams, like seeing him, because I went there to go play corner. So he's a 6'3" corner, got drafted. So that was a big reason. I went to campus. I loved the environment, the coaches. Coach Brown, he was an amazing coach. I loved him, Coach Brown. He ended up passing away, but he was a great coach. I met him. He was the first person I met on my visit, and Coach Randall. Great personality, just great guys. So it definitely drew me into being in an environment that was like uplifting and it was cool. So yeah, so I
Okay.
decided.
That's cool. So I know you were in Cincinnati, you said, then you moved to Colorado. What was the transition like going from Colorado now to, the East Coast, being well, you're the Southeast, being in North Carolina. Was it a big difference over here in North Carolina?
I ain't gonna lie, it definitely was. It definitely was like, a different shift. Like the reason I left Colorado because it was so cold. So I get down there, we got practices 100 degrees, and the it got me, I'm fighting for my life in a lot of these practices and everything, and it was a big shift. So not only was it a big shift in the weather, but it was a shift obviously in the culture, the environment, and everything being in the Ville. So um, yeah, it was definitely a shift that I made, but I adapt very well. So it was cool.
That's good. So your first year at Fayetteville State, as a freshman, what was the transition? as a student athlete going from high school, now being in college, for the young people that maybe get an opportunity to watch this show, what was that transition like for you?
I'd say the transition from high school. So I'd say the biggest thing that I say for anybody that helped me for my transition is like I used my job. I was working at like Chick-fil-A thing or like fast food or sometime before I actually went to go play football. So I was training and grinding every day. Me and my boy Xavier, we was working. We got to like the 5 a.m. shifts and we got like the 3 p.m. shifts or 2 p.m. shifts, and we were working that time. But we basically trained it for our mind to be able to get up early consistently, work the whole day, and then after go do the workout and be on a consistent routine. So for me, like, when you get to college, it's a whole nother level. It's intensity. It's waking up early every day. We had to wake up at like probably like 5:45, 6 a.m. every day and go practice around like 7. But we had to get ready around that time. So it was, the consistency and the discipline. But like I said, I used the job I was working and the consistency of me working out to help me. So when I did get in the college football, I was ready. So getting up early wasn't a problem. Being there every day wasn't a problem. But I just say, uh, the level, the intensity was way different than high school.
Wow. So for the young athlete, with some of your experience, maybe personally, or even with maybe some teammates, what are some things you would advise a young player as they're getting ready to transition into their first year of college, or even in their latter years in high school? What are some things a young person can do to really prepare for the college level and being able to handle, again, the academics along with the training that will increase from moving on from high school? What are some things you kind of saw maybe sidetrack some other people and may help the young athlete watch?
I'd say for any young athlete, start training like you already where you want to be. That's with anything in life. It's a form of manifestation. Work where you already want to be. So if you look to be in the college football, start training like you already a college athlete. Start watching college athlete workouts. Start reaching out and working out with the college players and going up against them. If your dreams are to go to the league, then start working out like an NFL player. That's my best advice is work out like you're already in that environment. So then when you get there, you're already used to it. You know. And
Good.
another thing too is a lot of the coaches, they'll send you your summer workouts before you get to school. So we got our workouts before, so we had like some time to really work out. So I was doing my workouts before I even got there.
All right. So I'm sure, and I mean, maybe you knew, maybe you didn't know. I'm sure there were some players that didn't take those workouts and start doing them like you did. Can you give advice, or maybe from experience, can you remember maybe some players you play with where you can tell they did not do their workouts during the off season?
Uh,
You don't have to give me players, but just I want those examples. I want that story because there's so many players that are so comfortable with the fact that, hey, I finished high school, I'm on my way to play in college, and they don't recognize the difference. And so they'll ignore the fact that, hey, I have workouts to start preparing me. And they may just kind of be still celebrating that they, graduated high school. What advice would you have for a player that may be dealing with that?
I mean, it's two choices. It's either you're gonna have a rude awakening or you're gonna be prepared. There's really nothing to it. Like you can never prepare so much. I mean, you can prepare as much as you can, but even when you get there, it's still gonna be hard. It's still gonna be tough because it's a different level of intensity, and you don't know what the coach is gonna say next day. You may have been preparing for like, I don't know, like a running 10 gassers, but coach one day says 20 gassers. You never
Right.
know. So I just say for people that get too comfortable, it's better to be uncomfortable before the moment happens. Because why would you be comfortable and then something happens uncomfortable and then you hurt and then you over here, you weren't like you tired. You might as well get uncomfortable before you even get in that situation.
Okay. So I think we covered, just a great piece about Fayetteville State and even playing sports. But as I stated earlier when we started the show, there was something so much bigger than your career in sports that really just pushed the button for me, and even what the goal is with the show. Not that I don't want to see players play on the highest level, but I just want young people to really be able to lock into life outside of the sport. And so for you, it wasn't a case where you sat around waiting for injury or waiting for, your 4 years at college to be over with and somebody not feel you were ready for the next level. You took your life in your own hands and you were able to tap in to what your heart was really looking at. And what decision did you make? Was it prior to you? Now you're going into your sophomore year, or you were already a sophomore?
So yeah, I'm a sophomore. It was like my sophomore around that winter break. So I just finished my second season,
Okay.
and then it was kind of after that. I was starting having those, those realizations. I kind of thought I'm like football is not everything, and it's a great way to help grow within yourself and elevate. But the one thing that a lot of the young Black youth that do is that they look at football and basketball and sports or entertainment as the only way out. It's the only way to make money for their family,
Right.
and I can't blame, our community because it's like that's all we see nowadays. All we see is we don't really see a black entrepreneur. You don't see a lot of like high level black entrepreneurs. You see the Bill Gates, you see the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk that's really shown in society, but it's like you don't see a lot of our people that look like that. You see a lot of the athletes and the rappers and celebrities. So I just say I stepped out of that box that we had of okay, the only way you can be successful is you go and play football or basketball, and I created my own reality. I stepped into my purpose because football was my passion. Like that's what I love to do, but my purpose was different, and I allowed God to shift me into my purpose. My purpose is to heal and inspire, and that's why I take like my mentoring that I do with Roots so heavily, like because I go back and I work with the kids at Walker Spivey and a lot of these other schools, Audrey Wilkins, and we go in there and we help mentor them, and a lot of them are not living the best lives, a lot going on. So it's like I'm teaching them at a young age, like, okay, how to step out of that mindset of this is not the only thing you can do because they're a lot of times they're thinking on um, the football and the basketball, and I'm asking what they want to do in life, and a lot of them have the same answers. But I'm
Right.
like, you can start your own company, you can do this, you can do that. There's so many other ways of life that you can go. So yeah, that's really how I had that realization, like a spiritual awakening, and I also like thought about it. I'm like, everybody's trying to do the same thing. People that look like us, everybody's trying to do the same thing. Yes, you can make it, but there's so many other ways you can make it, And if football is your dream, okay, I'm not saying don't go and get your dream, but there's so many other ways to get that bag for your family and take care of your family. Because I've made more money with my business than I did with football. So
That's good. That's good. And so let's talk a little bit about the two different programs you mentioned. I live here in the North Carolina Hope Mills area, so I'm familiar, but maybe some of the people watching in different areas across the country may not know a lot about. Let's talk first about Roots, the program that you say you were president of for a while. Talk about some of the things that Roots does here locally in the Fayetteville, North Carolina area.
So Roots means a regimen of overriding the statistics. And basically we're a mentoring program that goes into high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools. And we go in there and we teach them emotional intelligence, code switching. I went in there, my team went in there personally. We went in there and talked about entrepreneurship. So everything that I was learning personally, we went and taught them that. So it's business, um, family life. And a lot of times we're just a listening ear for whatever they got going through you know we go in there, and my whole goal of whenever I go in there with the team, just the whole team of everybody, is to help inspire them and help heal them. And Roots does that in a very great way. It's a great organization. Marcus has been a huge help to me, just a great mentor. He's the founder of Roots. I have a great thing to say about him. Amazing person. And yeah, we go in there, and right now, last semester I was working at three schools: Douglasburg, Wilkins, and then I was doing Walker Spivey for my main. So I was going into all different type of levels and helping these kids out, and helping basically what you're saying right now is showing them a different perspective on life, because
That's
subconsciously it's been programmed in their mind to think that they can only go in life one way. So we're helping them change that program.
That's good. That's good. So I was able to go online, and I think I may have been on your page, but got to see how you even have the opportunities to take some of you had the opportunity to take some of these young kids back to the football field to just be able to meet the team and meet the coaches. What is that typically like? What has been the response from some of those young gentlemen that you've taken here?
They're my boys. they had an amazing time.
That's
That was
good.
amazing. They appreciate that a lot. I didn't tell them until like last minute until they had to get their papers signed and everything to be able to go. But it showed them a whole different perspective. They got to really be there. They never been to a college football practice, so I just leveraged that contact that I had with, being there, and I got them in that environment. And I was like, if this is what you guys want to do, this is who you're gonna have to compete against and play against, and like this is real. So they got to see it and meet some of the players. My boy Cam, Manny, Keyshawn, all of them got to go talk to him. Uh, Mike Todd, all of them was up there, and it was great. All my boys on the football team, shout out to them. That was great for them, and they had an amazing time. They talked to Coach Hayes, Coach A, all the different coaches, and they loved it. They're very thankful and had a great experience. So I couldn't ask for anything better.
That's good. So I want to ask, did it make some of them young men change their mind, or did it make some of them realize that they had to step it up and get prepared?
Shoot, a few of them said they want to be entrepreneurs after that. I was like, shoot, I want to start because they were like, we gotta play against them big boys.
Yeah.
But I know specifically a few of them were really like, there was one picture, and my younger student I work with, his name is Nori, and he was standing next to Manny. He's a receiver on the team, great receiver, one of my boys, and he was like standing next to him, and I could see he was looking up to him, and they had that connection, and he was like, he wants to be a receiver too. So after seeing that, it made him more inspired to be like, I want to go play his position. So a lot of them got inspired. A few of them were like, man, there's a little crazy.
Got
Um,
you.
but that's good though. They need to see that, because sometimes you're chasing a dream that you don't even know what the dream is.
Correct.
You're chasing somebody else's dream. So it's like, let's put you in the environment of your dream and see if you still want it.
Got you. That's good. So tell us a little bit about, your connections and what you've been doing with another awesome program here in the Fayetteville area, Tulsa.
Yeah, so with Tulsa, it was the Tulsa Leadership Academy that I did before I was an ambassador too. But man, I've had a lot of amazing opportunities that have been given to me through the program. QR Covington has been great and giving me a lot of opportunities. So it's been a great organization, and I've grown a lot within it, and help give me a lot of networking opportunities through it. It's been great.
All right. So is it through Tulsa? I believe that you've won the entrepreneur pitch program a couple times. Was that through Tulsa?
Yes, sir. So it was the first pitch competition we had came on campus, and this is when I had my business and everything going. So I was probably like a few months into my business, and then I ran in. I think it was Zay, the past president of Fayetteville State. He had introduced me to QR, and they was like, "We're hosting a pitch competition. We'd love for you to come." I went up there. I was excited. I made my pitch deck and everything, and I went up there and I won first place. And then pitching my business and my idea, my vision. That's my football to me now. Like that's my like going up there and competing and doing what I do is my competition, and it's like it helps me keep that drive, but in my business. So, I had that one early in the year, and then we had another one this past December. I think it was December that we had another pitch competition. I won that one as well.
Wow,
But
that's awesome.
we competed against some very top level minded business in the cohort. They're all my boys, Tyshawn, Jay Reed, Spikes. Jalen he was also another winner. We had two winners of the last one. So it was some very big competition. Shout out to all my other guys too, but it was great. Yeah, I learned a lot and just connected. So yeah, I work hard for it.
All right. So let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about your business, where the idea came from. Let's talk about your business and the name of it and everything.
So my business is the Juice Products, and it's an organic and vegan product line I created with the purpose to heal and inspire this generation. So I created this my business, my vision, because I've seen how nowadays the body products that we use have a lot of chemicals in them, and these chemicals can be very harmful to our bodies, everything. Your skin is your biggest organ. It literally takes in everything you put on it. So I just had that. I had an idea. I was like, I go to an HBCU. What's something that everybody uses? They use body products, hair products, and my mom. I started making products for my own family around probably like 2021. I started making my own products, and just for fun. And I started using it. My mom in 2020, she had gotten breast cancer. So I started making products for her because a lot of the products nowadays, like even your deodorant has aluminum in it. Aluminum gets into your bloodstream, it can cause cancer. So, and that's in your deodorant. Even in your toothpaste, fluoride, if too much fluoride can mess up your brain as well. So, I look at these things, I look at the chemicals they put in our stuff nowadays, and I wanted to create a solution to that. So the problem was the chemicals and not natural products, and I made a solution of creating something that's organic and chemical free. Um, but everything on my designs and my labels I made homemade. I designed it. I still have my notebook where I went and drew up my labels, how I wanted to look. My infinity sign, that's the law of karma, meaning everything you give, you get right back within the
Wow.
universe, God. You get it back. So I wrote a message on there too on the side of my bottle. One of the I say my quotes and things I go by is always be your most authentic self, the most genuine, real, and pure, always win in the end. Being you and being genuine is going to help you win. You're going to also always have to battle through people that may not always be that or things that may not always go your way. But at the end of the day, God's going to see your heart and he's going to stay with you. So I just built my business off the strength of me. It came like off my spirit, it came out of my spirit to create this business. So that's why I just see the success because it's from my heart and I'm just going with it, and making it happen really. I believe in myself and I believe in it. And it's like, it's deeper because it's like, I look at it in the sense of I'm inspiring the same kids that I'm teaching because now they see what I'm doing. They're like, dang, he's making money, not off doing it the way I may see other people. Cause I can still make my own money, but I'm not, I'm selling something that's legal. Like I'm selling something that's off my own strength of me,
Right.
and I want to change our generation. Like we don't have to go sell these things or do these things to get money nowadays. You can start your own business, find a product that you want to create, and make money off of it.
That's good. And I think it's so awesome because, like you said earlier, you touched on it already, but so many of our young kids from the inner city, they feel like there's only one way. It's either sports or, like you said, entertainment. So, though there's a lot of more young people today that want to, I hear so many young kids say, I want to work for myself. They really don't, they have not seen, many people exemplify that. And so I think it's awesome that you were able to know where your heart at, know what your passion was, walk away from sports, which I'm sure you had an awesome opportunity to continue playing.
I was about
But
that. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
have a
so you were able to make that decision and move on and go after your passion when it comes to not only the mentoring side, but also as an entrepreneur. I want to ask real quick while we're talking about your products, what are all the different things that you offer?
So if y'all need any products, first of all, my website is thejuiceproducts.com. But I basically offer organic hair growth oil. So I make everything all herbal. I also have the organic healing body butters that I make. All my ingredients I get from a garden, an apothecary. So I make everything handmade and homemade. But I'm gonna have some more products coming up here soon that I'm gonna release. But for right now, I'm working on my hair growth oils and then my organic healing body butters right now.
Okay, so we know you gave the website already for your company. Do you have your stuff in some stores also? Or is it just can you only be ordered on the things only be ordered online at this time?
So you can find my product in 4 stores right now. So I have it in a store called Cured Essentials in Fayetteville as well. It's a very nice store. I have it in Lavish Beauty. It's a very big beauty store also in Fayetteville, and I have it in Premier Beauty as well. And then I have it in a barbershop in Colorado Springs called Superior Barbershop. And my next goal is to work on getting it into Sprouts and some of the bigger retail stores as well. So that's where I'm at right now, and I'm just working to make it happen. Some more.
Okay. All right. All right. Any thoughts of ever going on Shark Tank or one of those shows or something?
Uh, I think it would be great recognition. I don't think I'd take any of their deals. It's called it.
I got you.
Yeah, they sharks for a reason. They sharks for a reason. They go with a lot of equity, and I don't know if I want
Right.
to equity and royalty, but at the same time, it could be good for get my brand out there even more. So I'm not going to deny it. Opportunity may come. I've been hearing a lot of people ask me that. So if it happens, it happens.
Right. I think you're doing an awesome job, Justin. I mean, just the example that you're being to our young people. Every time I'm able to connect with a young person like yourself, that's just showing our young people the different options that they have. I think it's great because they need to see that. I know in the opportunities I have to speak to young people, whether it's at schools or even some other programs, one of the biggest factors is many of our young people don't feel like they have hope.
Mm-hmm.
And so even some of the ones that will tell you every day that their dream is to play on the highest level, there's a
Yeah,
part of them that really don't feel like they're ever going to make it out of where they're at. And I
exactly.
think sometimes that's what affects how much effort they put into the sport, because it's really like, yeah, I want to go pro and I love this sport, but I don't really believe I'm going to make it to that
It's the
level.
that limited belief mindset, and it's that it can be that limited belief, but also the victim mentality too. I think as the people, we have to get out of that victim mentality and a limited belief, because if you're going to do something, you literally can create your own reality. We have so many examples in society nowadays of people that are doing the exact same thing you're doing and they've done it. So why can't you do it?
Right, right. I think that's awesome, and you just touched on some one of the quotes I use every time I speak to groups, especially when I'm speaking to a group of young kids that may be from inner cities. I always either leave or I start off with the quote, just kind of filling the room out. The Stephen Covey quote that says, "You're not a product of your circumstances, but you're a product of your decisions."
Mm,
Because so many young people feel like, well, X, Y, and Z, this family member has ran the streets, so I have to do the same thing, or this is going on in my household, so I have to follow in the same track. We're not knowing that you can make a decision to do something different. You
hmm
can start a new norm. You can be an example maybe to your younger sibling. You don't have to follow, behind that older parent or sibling or aunt or uncle or somebody just in the neighborhood that you may look up to and feel like if they're doing this, even though there's a part of me that knows that it's negative and I shouldn't be, I don't have to follow it. It's ultimately your life will end up wherever you decide for it to end up by your decisions. And so I just always love to give young people that quote just to let them know that there is hope, but you
Yes,
have to make the right decisions.
I agree with that 100%, and I think the hardest thing to do is the environment, because the environment a lot of time can dictate people's decisions, their environment. And I love how you say that, you have to dictate your decisions, because I know with the kids that I'm working with now, their environment every day is something hectic or something going on, so I really work with them to have emotional intelligence, to not allow, because there's a lot of emotion in the household, because there may not be a father in the household, so it's all emotions, but to know how to like think more in a logical standpoint, because their environment is hectic. So I think that's really big, and I think emotional intelligence plays a big part in the decisions.
That's good. That's good. Throughout the time that you've had an opportunity to mentor these young people, have you ever had situations where you had the young ones that you could really see they really just was not buying into what you were trying to, give to them, and because of maybe their environment, have you ever had those times where it was really a difficult moment where you felt like, he they're really not accepting, the advice that we're trying to give them? Have you ever had moments like that?
The way I approach things is that when I go in to mentor them, I meet them on the level that they're already on.
Okay.
And so if I'm just meeting the kids and everything, I may just go and talk to them about, how their day was or their conversations. I may not try and mentor them specifically on that day, if I'm just getting to know them. So as I make that connection, they'll hear me a lot better. If that makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay. That's good. That's good. So, what are your plans and goals going forward with your business? I didn't get to ask. We got right off of football and sports, but what did you say you were actually majoring in again?
So I'm majoring in business administration, and then I'm minoring in entrepreneurship. So yeah, I got a lot of big goals that I'm going to accomplish. I actually wrote down my goals, yesterday, and I wrote down all my goals of like step by step within my business. So I'm working towards getting my organic certification, and that certification will allow me to get into like the bigger retail stores. So my
Okay.
main focus is getting my inventory up, and the biggest thing that I'm working on right now with a lot of black businesses, the reason why it's hard to elevate to the level is that capital. So right now I'm just working on the capital, because when I'm getting ready to get these big retail stores, it's going to cost to get manufacturing. So I'm looking at the best ways to receive that capital and work towards things like that. But it's been a lot of bootstrapping, which is it's been great. But I'm just elevating within that, and I plan to just continue to elevate within my business. So my goal this year is to be in 10 stores. So right now I'm in 4, so I'm just working towards that. I'm actually talking to some people down here in Colorado too, just about getting some stores down here as well. So just expanding and scaling. But also I want to really hit the online market, because online market, I can focus on the online market and be good too. So everything is focused on my inventory right now, get my inventory right.
That's good. That's good. So, do you have a lot of people just on your team as far as your business, or is that something that you're also still growing?
Yeah, so I have a marketing director right now that does helps me on marketing. Her name's Aria Freeman. She's like my best friend. She's like my business team too. Great person on my business team. I have a few other people. Justin Hartley is my videographer, and I have Sai from my school. She's one of my creative directors. So they kind of all help me within that, and amazing team. A few other people too. Um, but yeah, people that just really support me and they see my business from the start and love what I do, so they support. But I'm actually getting ready to look into, like, I know there's a program. I don't know if it was the Small Business Association, but when we were there, Coach
Uh-huh.
Storm about a program that they had for like businesses and getting employees. So, as I grow and everything, I definitely want to start hiring employees and to help me with manufacturing inventory when that
That's,
time comes. But yeah,
that's good. That's good. With Justin, you're doing an awesome job. You are a great example to our young people. So keep up the great work, man. Keep up the great work.
thank you.
We're gonna wrap it up and get into our last two questions. I'm just so I love being able to talk to young people like yourself that are really going out and just giving our young people someone to kind of look to as an example of knowing that there are opportunities beyond just entertainment and sports. But I want to wrap it up and get into our last two questions. First question I always ask is, how important is it to have positive people in your circle?
Wow. That's huge. That's the biggest thing. One wrong person in your circle can affect everybody's energy. I'm really big on energy, big on that, very spiritual. So, your circle defines you. They always say whoever's in your circle is who you are. So, you know, or my circle, if I have different, circles, I have like a spiritual team, I have a business team, I have a team I may just be outdoors with and everything, go fishing or hunting or whatever it is. Cause my dad always grew up fishing and hunting. So I've always loved doing that. My football team, there's all these different teams that I have. But I try and keep the teams that I can control. I try and make sure that they're all positive people and people around me are positive and uplifting, because nowadays as you grow, it's really important, because not everybody wants to be there for you when you are on that come up. So you have to have discernment and know who's right for you to pin in your team. And the reason why a lot of my success has been because my team, like my business team, have supported me so much and helped me elevate me in different aspects. So it's huge. It's a great question.
That's good. That's good. And I have my last question. I'm gonna ask you the last question I always ask, but I have another question after that. But I want to ask this: who or what is it that inspires you most in life?
Hmm. My biggest inspiration is my brother. Uh, he was a big inspiration for me even to start my business. He started his business called Juice Team, and it was a clothing brand. So he started doing that, and it was really grew throughout my city in the Springs. And I was inspired by him to be able to start my business, and that's why I also call mine Juice, because Juice is that energy that you have within you. It's that mindset and that drive and that just know that everything's gonna be okay. It's all gonna work out as long as you have faith.
That's
So
good.
he instilled that within his business, and then now it's like I'm doing it in my own aspect, but I'm still making this thing like a together. And he inspired me so much, and he's a motivator. Every time I get down, he's like, "Bro, did you pray on it?" He's like, "Did you pray on it?" And I'm like, "Shoot, yeah, you're right." And I go and pray on it and everything. But he's inspired me and helped me grow so much. He's a big motivator in my ear. So my brother Jeremiah has been a huge motivator.
That's good. That's good. And so I just want to end and give you an opportunity to do this to the young person, and maybe this is something you get to do regularly with the groups that you mentor. what are some of the ground level things that the young person who may be in high school is saying, hey, I would love to be an entrepreneur? What would be some things or some key advices that you would give them in getting started?
My biggest thing I had to learn is focus on one thing. A lot of people are serial entrepreneurs, which works for some people. Basically, mean they go from here to here to here. But you have to put all your energy into one thing to see it really grow. Because why not? A lot of entrepreneurs, what they'll do is they'll focus on one thing, they'll focus on another thing, another thing. But if you focus on one thing and build that up as much as you can, and then it's on autopilot, then you can go into the next thing. So one of the biggest things I say to entrepreneurs is if you have a brand, focus on that brand and build it up, and don't leave until that brand is 110%. Keep going until you can get everything out of that, you know, and consistency, discipline. But use this is some game for any entrepreneurs. Use some of the tools we have nowadays. I don't know if anybody uses AI, but I'm very deep into AI and understand AI. So like you can make a whole business plan, you can make ideas, you can structure things a certain way, you can plan out a schedule, you can plan out an employee sheet and everything. Anything you need, you can go on ChatGPT or Perplexity.ai, and you can go and build anything you need on there for your business. So we have so many resources nowadays to start a business, to create a business, to do whatever. So I just say go out there and get it, you know. Um, yeah, that's really just use the tools we have around us and build a team. So kind of to go back, main things is focus on one thing, use the tools like AI, ChatGPT, Perplexity. And then number three is have a strong business team around you. I have a business team around me that one of my team members, he no credit. Another of my team members is tough at marketing. Another of my team members does videography. You know what I'm saying? So that whole team right there is what I already have everything I need, you know? So build a strong team around you that supports you and uplifts you. But those are the three things I say for entrepreneur to focus on.
That's good, man. Well, I appreciate you joining us. Appreciate you just providing such awesome information. Keep up the great work, man. Keep up the great work.
Appreciate you.
I thank all those who have taken another moment to join us and watch another episode. And y'all know I say it every episode. It is good to be great in that sport you're playing, but it's even better to be great in life. So again, we've had another awesome guest in Mr. Justin Pruitt, and the information he provided, the example that he's been to our young people. I just hope that you'll continue to share these shows with the young athlete or even a young student that you may know that wants to be an entrepreneur. We have an example of someone that was able to play, make it from high school into college, and could have continued on in his career, but he knew where his heart was. And so I think it shows the person that he was to be able to step away from the sport and really go after what he wanted to go after. And just the example he's been able to be to our young people. So I ask that you'll take this information, be intentional in applying it, and just continue to join us as we go out and up. Thank you, and we'll see you next episode.
Thank you.